from the sidewalk skyline.
So here we are. We are at the backside of Lake McDonough, and this is all protected land, an aquifer for our friends at the MDC. You guys are doing a great job. Great job hiding your cryptid evidence. You're doing great. Keep it up. Keep it up. Because we're on it to sort of counterbalance you guys. And, yeah, we're better at it than you are. But here we are. You can see it's beautiful. This place is real squatchy. This is a little peninsula. There's a person fishing out here. And if you remember some of my earlier videos, before COVID, I complained that Connecticut had a fishing season when it doesn't really need one. Trout are a cold water species. And during COVID, they decided to take my advice and get rid of a fishing season so you can just fish year round. But we're gonna get in here. You can see these awesome glacial erratics. This is an artificial reservoir. So a lot of this would have been raised up. And this is a compensating reservoir for Seville Reservoir, which is home to Connecticut's aquatic cryptid Seville. So let's get in. We're gonna go to this over here and see what we can find. So this is talking about some droughts and then gypsy moth. Okay, so it wasn't boring insects. And what they brought down, that white pine was suffering boring insects, but what they brought down are oak trees. And the oak trees were attacked through several generations of the invasive gypsy moth caterpillar, which eats the leaves and defoliates it. But if you look, they've done what's called a riparian forest. So they've planted other trees that can take the stresses and aren't as susceptible to those invasive species. And if you look, I don't know if you can get it on the camera exactly, but everything, all the tips of the trees have this reddish hue, and it just really warms my heart because those red tips, that's the actual sugar in the trees until they start producing chlorophyll, and then the red turns green, and then the leaves come out. And then in the fall, the chlorophyll dies back, and you see the original sugars in the leaves. And that's what gives you the yellows, oranges, and reds that are so famous for New England. But here you can see, and here's some of the birds: eastern towhee, prairie warbler, indigo bunting, golden-winged warbler, yellow-breasted chat, blue-winged warbler, and brown thrasher, chestnut-sided warblers, and this guy is obviously an oriole. Looks like an orchard oriole. Wow, it's really cool. It's got to be 65 degrees. One of the first warm days, and towards the end of winter. We're gonna get in there again. We're at Lake McDonough, and it's pretty squatchy back here. It's incredibly cool. The water is gorgeous. Oh, really, oh, it's so nice. You smell that, people? We're not gonna eat this. I'll probably save that for my friend Richard Sear. He likes them dried like that. Me, you know me. Yeah, I'm just gonna eat it right off the tree. I like a green. I think I like white pine best. Probably hemlock the least. No, I absolutely think skunk cabbage is my least favorite thing to eat. The causes blisters and burns your mouth and stuff. You got good spots. Now you get in a lot of trouble if you swim here, but boy, it's the perfect place. Hey, that's good pine, yeah. Nice sandy beach here. Yeah. And we're gonna sit right here on this bench that nature provided us. Beautiful white pine. This guy, camera person, that's Savilli right there. Savilli, the aquatic dog monster. Savilli is just right up on the next reservoir. This is the last dam before this spills into the Farmington River. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. I think the people left. So, I did notice something when we came here. And, you know, if you're smart and you've followed our videos, then you know when you see this and this, that the squirrels have been eating a tiny little pine nut that's in there. It is tiny, but they are in there. And when you see these down, there's just like, you know, they're just peeling it away. I don't know. They eat it. I'm not actually gonna eat this one. No, I'm feeling good, and we're just gonna leave it at that. And we got some hominids in the woods over there. It definitely looks like a subspecies of Homo sapien. Homo yuppiesensis. You just tell by the pinks and orange and yellows that they're wearing. Some people just like to be seen in the woods. That just really, what that means is that the wildlife are gonna see you first instead of you seeing the wildlife. So when you buy that yellow and orange and pink kayak, let's keep in mind, you know, you're not gonna see as many turtles and fish and birds and things like that because they can see you coming a mile away. I'm just gonna say it with those ridiculous colors. There it is. Yeah. That's what it's all about. Making fun of yellow, orange, and red, pink kayaks. Yeah, that's okay for someone that, you know, it's all about status and being seen and stuff, but I don't know. Give me camo anything, any day. You're allowed a little bit of blaze orange. That's it. Some black and tan, grays. But our CCIS followers out there, you know better, okay? We're just gonna leave it at that. Okay, go away. I'm hibernating now. So as I'm sitting down here being lazy, smelling the pine, sap's all over me. You know, pine is like maple, the sap's gonna flow in them too, just like the same thing. But I just wanted, I think the camera person, I was trying to say before we went off camera that sitting here, I think you ought to point the camera up and let the people see what I'm looking at up there. I think you should turn it the other way and as if you're seeing what I'm seeing, camera person. 100-foot white pine tree, old growth. Yeah. Okay. All right, everybody, go away now. I'm hibernating. About to get spleeny. We'll explain what spleeny is. We'll put that up on there for you. So if you look here, you'll see this band of things that float. I talked about floating wood before on rivers, and this is the kind of stuff you want to use to make a fire. This stuff here, look at that. But that's not what I want to talk about here. So you see this band here of floating organic debris, and as winter starts, I would guess around late October, they're going to drop the water level from, so this was the flooded, this is of course an impound lake, so they can control the depth to a certain degree. So this is where it is in the summer, and then here we are, the end of winter. What this does, you see the clarity of this water. What that does is it exposes any vegetation, aquatic vegetation, to the air, so it freezes and dies during the winter, and that gives you this water clarity. What it does, though, is it really impacts you know, anything in the ecosystem that's going to utilize this habitat to spawn. And of course, then you don't have as much organic matter because you don't have as much vegetation. People like to see this lake with no lily pads and stuff, but that's not a natural state. Yeah, this could have blueberry bushes and cranberry bushes and all kinds of stuff on the shoreline. But, you know, the state of Connecticut wants this for drinking water for some crazy reason. I don't know. We'll talk with them. Aha. Here's a really good example. So these are the pine cones. You see, look at this. All of this is, so these tight ones are the ones that they like. My guess is that they like the ones that are probably still on the trees, but this is what they're after, the little pine nuts in there. And that's what this is. I guess so. If you got into a crazy survival situation, don't overlook pine cones. Extremely high in fiber. Like a full year's supply. You know, Richard, I'm going to get some for my buddy Richard too. From here from Lake McDonough. He'd like that. We're going to get him out with us and see how much pine he can handle. So there's CCIS. There's the pine challenge, everybody. How much pine can you eat? I got your cinnamon challenge. Look at it. Absolutely beautiful here. The unfortunate thing is that the road runs along this on the other side of the shoreline. And the camera person was asking me earlier, you didn't get it, why we're not on that side. That side. Why we're not on that side? With that mom, 8 kids, and her minivan. Why we're not on that side? So we're on this. This is a man-made assembly of rocks. It's got to be 8 feet wide. These rocks are pretty uniform size. They're large, and they're placed with a lot of care. And this doesn't just end here where you see the water. This goes down underwater as far as I can see it, and it appears to be heading to that point of land on that artificial island over there. There's some buffleheads. You're going to see them fly this way, white and black waterfowl. Buffleheads, beautiful aquatic waterfowl. This stone pathway continues to that point of land over there, that island. For what reason, I have no idea, but this was clearly built before they started to contain the water. And there's a lot of interesting rocks. A lot of pegmatite. Pegmatite is an indicator rock. Here's a piece of pegmatite where some tourmaline fell out. It's an indicator rock for gemstones. For your rock hounds out there, follow, you already know this, but follow the pegmatite. It's all over the place here. But that's not what we're doing today. We still haven't figured out what we're doing. So that's how we roll here. You know, we put a lot of thought into just heading out with no plan. It's a lot of thought goes into that, just so you know. A lot of research, things like, where do you want to go? And it's usually like, I don't know. So that's how, you know, if you want to get into squatching, that's how complicated it is. You gotta not plan these things. It's not so easy. Look at this crazy thing. Forget the Bimini Road. This is the Seville Road. This thing is huge, and I don't know what it does. It just goes underwater. I would go, I'm a scuba diver. I would go diving and follow that if they let you. The MDC is real funny like that. Yeah, they're real funny with their no water access. All right, we're gonna see what else is in there. We're gonna get in there a little more. I already see a lot of, you can't see them on the camera, but there's little thousands and thousands of baby water skimmers all over the surface of this pond, of this lake here. And boy, it's nice to see some life. So we are right on the edge of spring. All right, I'm gonna go follow this road into the, I'm gonna go underwater and follow this stone road to that peak over there. So that'll be the end of me. All right, I'll see everybody. Nice knowing you. You see, can you see it? The little water skimmers, like the little tiny dots everywhere. And look, we got this greenery. That's, boy, someone's gonna call me. That's a type of evergreen. Might be princess pine. Could very well be princess pine. That's what I'm gonna go with, but that's nice to see. Look at it growing right underneath that snow and ice. Oh, man, we got spring fever bad. This is the spring fever episode. So earlier we were at a boat resting area. I wouldn't call it a boat launch, you can't drive here. And as you can see, the lake continues on towards Seville Dam. And I earlier said there's no swimming here. There is, in fact, swimming here. I was wrong. I remember if you go through the gates, Lake McDonough, and that's a MDC controlled property, be careful. There's no drinking. They have their own police force on this lake. So they're not playing with the rules. I believe it's open to New Hartford and Barkhamsted residents free, and there's a fee if you're not from those two towns. And you can fish here. The state stocks this with over 10,000 rainbow, brook, and brown trout. So it's a pretty good fisheries. I haven't seen any action on the water, so I'm guessing they haven't stocked this body of water. And because it's a dam, there's not going to be a lot of holdover trout. So you're going to be catching them, you know, maybe 16 inches max. But we're not going to continue. If we did, we'd get to that beach, we'd get to a Boy Scout camp. We're going to call it a day here because we just wanted to get out. We had spring fever so bad, we just had to get out. And as you know, if you watched our videos, that's what it's all about. We did heavy sightings of a Homo yuppiesensis, two yuppies and their dogs with their bright colors. They're real easy. That's a species real easy to identify because they're gonna make a lot of noise. They're gonna be wearing ridiculously bright colors. And you know, you're gonna hear them. You're gonna smell their cologne a mile away on the wind. Yeah, you know when you're in their territory. And you don't watch them because their natural defenses is like lawsuits and stupid comments and things like this. So you gotta watch that. The species can be unpredictable at best. We just try to avoid them. Good thing we see them well before they see us. And if you're one of them, you know, contact us. We can help. We're gonna set up a hotline. If you're a Homo yuppiesensis and you feel like you need to break out of that species, right, just hit us up on social media. We'll come right out and help you out. Get some mossy oak on you and some real tree and, you know, a ghillie suit. Show you, we'll take care of you. It's what we do. It's a community service. This place is beautiful. Listen, so if you have, all kidding aside, and I got nothing against you yuppies, you're awesome. You guys are, you know, you set aside a lot of land for public use, and that's great. But if you want to come, and you see this is a road, this is a literal road, the MDC will drive back and forth to make sure you're not having any fun. Do not drink in here. They are not playing. I'm telling you, they got their own police force, and it's police. It's not MDC police, it's police. But this is easy access. You could, once you get up over that initial hill coming in at the entrance, it's just wide open. You wouldn't probably get any ticks in here. You want to check yourself, but this is, and there's a lot of points where you can access, get down to the water, and you can fish at any of those points. And if you want to swim, you got to go to the stupid state beach over there. It's horrible. Like a bunch of elephant seals throwing sand on from the, you know, doing that stuff that elephant seals do, you know, on their towels. And before I get ridiculously stupid, we're gonna call it a day. We're gonna drive by Seville Dam. We'll probably make a couple ignorant comments. I don't know. I'm feeling like a real buffoon today, like a buffoon baboon or something. But we had a good day. We're not even gonna call tap or nothing. Maybe find some pine nuts and some fresh pine greens and make ourselves a snack. Oh boy, we're having fun today. Get out there, all right? And when you see something weird, send us your reports. Ah! There are just miles of forest back there, and we're both getting a distinct impression as a series. This ridge pretty much follows us, this lake, all the way to where we started, and it's just, you just get the feeling it's one of those places that you're being watched, you know? This is a real good place maybe to bring children, somebody with limited mobility, because you could see how wide open this is and how, you know, it's not flat, it goes up and down, but you're really wide. There's nothing here to really trip you up. No, nice and soft. This is a good place to hike if you have people that have a hard time with hiking in some of the other places. It's really raw nature, so it's a unique kind of place. It's not a state park. It is part of a state forest. I believe this goes into Tunxia State Forest, and then that then merges with the American Legion Forest and the People State Forest. Man, if you're like a mountain lion, you just sit somewhere up there and just watch. You could just wait and just, you're a mountain lion, you see something taking advantage of this natural path, this man-made path here, which they do. Animals use these a lot. You could be on them. Could be on them pretty damn quick. And my friend Dave Connolly, he sent a picture of a mountain lion print that he saw in Connecticut. So Dave, we're gonna have to get you back to talk about that. That was a nice capture there, buddy. Nice clear print in the snow. Awesome find. Shout out to Dave Connolly, who would not eat skunk cabbage with me. All right, we'll see you. We're loving the change that we jumped ahead, sprang forward. Now let's just lock the clocks and keep it forward. So here we're on the other side of Lake McDonough. And you could see this is the side that the camera person wanted to film from. Not very splashy right here. Oh, here it is, yeah. So you can see here's the beach, and as I said, there's an MDC patrol vehicle, and this is their own police department right here. So if you get caught drinking, yep, police. That's who you have to contend with. So it's okay to come here. You could pay a hefty, entrance fee, and then once you get in there, make sure you don't have any fun. All right. You probably won't be seeing us at that town beach anytime soon. All right. So you can see now. This is the upper part. This is Seville Dam up here, and this is where they get real serious about. You can't even think about touching this water. You can't hike in there. That's it. But if you go down this way a little bit, down on 219 North, you'll come to a yellow gate. That yellow gate will eventually take you to, but you can't go into unless you're authorized. That goes into a beautiful sandy beach, which I can only speculate on its use. Recreation for the MDC employees for sure. Okay, so here we are at Seville Dam. And that's the pump house. That's one of the most photographed places in Connecticut right there. It is my belief that there is indeed a Tanistropheus or something very much like a Zobladon that got captured in this lake when they built this dam. And well, you can't see the beach for what I was talking about, and we're not going to bother. We're just here on location, and we're just out having a good day. And this is the upper end of Lake McDonough, and then all of that side is all protected. It says right here, this is a game sanctuary. Okay, so this is the upper end of Lake McDonough, and as you can see, Seville Dam and reservoir spills into Lake McDonough from here, and on this end we believe, and she believes, don't you?
I do.
She believes that there is a Tanistropheus in this part of the lake, and it was captured as a juvenile. It was, they're polyandromous and they follow the fish, but then when they built these dams, they had no way of getting back. So over the generations, they probably would have stunted, gotten a little smaller, and foraged on trout and cold water species, chub and stuff like that, and suckers. And they're certainly large enough that they could sustain a stunted juvenile Tanistropheus or Zobladon right there. And look at that. Look at all that forest. There's nothing there. All right, people want to enjoy this, and they're letting us film, so we're gonna wrap it up. We'll see you on the next time we're getting out there.